Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today we are doing a full face of makeup with 100% affordable beauty products. I'm really excited about this video because I've teamed up with Target and I'm going to be sharing a couple of new products that I picked up from Target from e.l.f. that are exclusive to Target. They are new products that are exclusive to Target and I'm so excited to share them with you. I actually filmed this video yesterday, but half of it was out of focus. I was super bummed about it. So I have already played with this palette. This is the e.l.f. Electric Mood and Tiana Major 9 palette. And what I love about this palette is I feel like this palette is great for neutral lovers like myself because you have a good selection of neutral shades in here. But then as you can see, you also have quite a few pops of color. It really is, in my opinion, a really well-balanced palette. So we're going to be playing with this. I also picked up the e.l.f. Big Mood Mega Volume Mascara. And as you can see, I opened it. Like I said, I filmed this video yesterday, so I did get to test and try this out. You guys know I've been really into trying new mascaras over the last year since removing my lash extensions. So we will apply this and you guys will get my thoughts on it. And then I also picked up this Wet n Wild Be Mine Honey Face Palette. And this is a little highlighting palette. It has a really kind of yellow gold and then it has a bit of a warmer pinky champagne shade. So we're gonna be playing with this. And then I picked this up too. I'm not sure if we're gonna be applying this in the video. Yes, we will. We're gonna incorporate a little bit of this into the look, but this is the Wet n Wild In Love with Cocoa 9-pan palette. You can see that you get 9 really beautiful, generally warm tone shades in this, all neutral. So yeah, I'm super excited to share with you guys this look. I also have some of my favorite products like the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation and a few others. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm gonna start with my foundation and I have declared this my most loved, like affordable beauty product, complexion product, the L'Oreal Fresh Wear Foundation. It is just so good, you guys. And what I love about it, I'm gonna use a beauty sponge to apply it. I am the shade, by the way, 460. What I love about this foundation is it just makes the skin look so natural, but so flawless. And I actually kind of hesitate when I use the word flawless because I feel like when you think of flawless, you think of like full coverage, like flawless finish, right? Where it covers every single thing. And maybe flawless isn't the best word to describe this foundation because I really do feel like you see your skin through it. Your skin just looks perfected in a sense. Like it's even, it covers most like, you know, kind of moderate discoloration. Now, if you are someone that has, you know, pretty dark melasma or hyperpigmentation or, you know, rosacea, you're gonna get some coverage from this, but it's not gonna be your full coverage foundation. I pair it with a tinted SPF. You guys know I always wear an SPF before I apply my makeup, and my favorites do have a little bit of a tint, so, you know, that's gonna help a tad with coverage. But I just love the finish of it. It just looks natural. You know, it doesn't look overly radiant or pearlescent at all, but it doesn't look flat and matte either. It just looks like natural, beautiful, healthy skin. Now I'm applying it with a sponge, which is gonna make it have an even more of a natural application. I find that if you use a brush, you can usually get, you know, a good application from just one pump. You might even have a little left over, but because I'm using a sponge, which is gonna soak up more product, I actually need to pump out a tiny bit more because I need a little more coverage on my forehead. So I literally just put that much, very, very tiny amount, and I'm going to bounce it on my sponge and on my forehead. I truly feel like this foundation rivals any foundation out there, any foundation. And I'm talking, you know, even those foundations that are 3, 4, 5 times the price of this one, I feel like this looks just as good. If you haven't tried this foundation, you really should. I honestly think it's great for all skin types. Oily, dry, I think it's great for all skin types. I can't imagine someone not liking this foundation unless you are someone that likes full coverage. But it's so nice. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with concealer and I picked up my number 7 Lift and Illuminate Concealer. I have the shade Light Medium. This concealer is a serum concealer, so it's gonna have an interesting texture to it. It's not gonna feel thick like a cream. It's gonna have a lighter weight texture. Now, when I apply concealer, I've really been into just applying it in that inner corner because I have a little bit of green vein there that you can see, and just kind of keeping the application under in the inner corner like that. Now, I used to like pull it all the way up, but what I find is you end up applying more concealer than you need. Just apply it there and then take your finger and spread it out to, you know, cover the rest of your under eye area. And then once it's spread out, then you can go in with your, brush or your sponge or whatever you choose to blend it in, and then you can blend it in. Now, the reason I didn't go in directly with my sponge when I applied it in the inner corner is because if I were to do that, the sponge again is gonna soak up some of that product, and I'm not gonna get that product spread out here where I want it, right? But I also didn't wanna take the wand and spread it out there because then you end up applying more product than you need. So try this technique. Try to apply it in the inner corner, use your finger to spread it out, and then use your brush or your sponge to blend it out. That's perfect. Do you see that? You get coverage, but it's very natural. It's not too much at all. I don't even think I need to really set with powder because one, my skin's a little bit dry. We just returned from Colorado a couple days ago, but the finish just looks so natural. I am going to use a tiny bit because it's just something I just do. It's like one of those things where I don't need it, but I just can't break the habit. It's just one of those things. So I'm going to use a little bit of the Revolution Translucent Baking Powder. This is the loose version. I also have the pressed versions, which I really like, but I'm going to use the loose. And I'm just going to use a tiny bit of this. I'm kind of pressing it onto my hand, but then I'm also blotting it on my hand, giving my brush time to kind of release any excess product. And I'm just going to press it underneath my eye, on my nose, that's where I tend to get a little shiny and oily, and then on my forehead. So pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and warm up the face. I'm gonna go in with my Physician Formula Butter Bronzer. Hands down, my favorite affordable bronzer. Let's just revoke the word affordable and just put one of my favorite bronzers, period. It is so, so good. I'm gonna go in with a big fluffy brush and I'm going to apply this kind of all over my face to really warm it up. We spent quite a bit of time out in Colorado and I did get a little bit of sun, a lot of sun actually. So I feel like my face needs a little extra bronzer to balance out with my chest and the rest of my body. We went horseback riding. I'm from Texas and it's so hot all the time. It's like 100 degrees in the summer or more. So when you go outside, you feel the need for sunblock. In Colorado, the weather was so beautiful and mild. Like in the 70s, it was so beautiful that my head wasn't thinking sunblock, and I went on a horseback ride and I burned my shoulders. So I made a big mistake there. I thought that our horseback ride was going to be pretty shaded, but it wasn't. Okay, and I'm gonna kind of run this into my forehead and my hairline, just so it looks really cohesive and you don't just have bronzer on the cheeks. Okay, next I'm gonna apply my brows, but let's keep this off camera because this is not a Target product. So first we're gonna go in and build my transition shade. I'm gonna use this shade right here called Latte. It's just a really nice kind of, mid-tone, matte, kind of warm transition shade. And I'm gonna go in and apply this just in my outer corner in my crease. I'm gonna create kind of more of a rounded shape. I cannot get over how much I love this foundation. I just can't. It is so nice. So I've really created a rounded shape, but then I'm also gonna take this color and kind of blend it into the bulk of my brow right here. Perfect. Next, I'm gonna go in with this purple shade here. It's kind of like a warm, matte, plummy purple. It's got some red to it. And I'm gonna pack that onto my outer corner. This color on blue or green eyes, or even if you have like brown eyes that have a little gold or amber like fleck to them when they hit the light, this color is gonna really pull that out. So beautiful. And I'm just packing it on with a flat shader brush. I'm not really worried about blending it out at this point. I'm just kind of worried about placing that color onto the outer corner. And then I'm gonna go in with the same brush I used for the crease and we're gonna soften it out. So now I'm just taking that same brush we used for the crease and I'm just gonna kind of run it back and forth. I didn't add any shadow to it. I'm really just using this as a blending tool. Okay, now I'm going with the shadow. So try first to just go in without shadow, and then if you feel like you need to add some more to keep it smooth and consistent, then do so. Next, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. It's called Crimsen Shim. And it's a really pretty shimmery cranberry color. And I'm gonna take my finger actually and kind of place this onto the lid. Let's see what kind of payoff we get with our finger. Okay, that's beautiful. So I am gonna go ahead and use my finger to kind of place it. Now I'm gonna go in with a brush. And I'm using a flat, kind of basic eyeshadow shader brush. Because this shade has a little bit of glitter, or I should say a lot of glitter, you really want to load up the side of your brush and use it by like pressing, apply some pressure onto the lid Rather than lightly sweeping or using the tip, use the side of it to pick up and to place. You'll get the best color payoff and you'll also get less fallout. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. It's called Pound Coin, and I feel like this is a chameleon shade. In the palette, it looks like this rose goldy, kind of greenish. And then when it goes on the finger, you can really see just how intense that greenish gold is. It's really, really beautiful. I used this yesterday in my look. My look was a little different than it is today. It was a little more neutral, but I thought it'd be fun to play with some color today. So I'm gonna take that shade and I'm gonna place it in the inner corner and kind of pull it to blend out into the lid. It's just basically gonna overlay that first color we just put down. This is a neat color because you can really lay it over any shade and it's just gonna transform that shade a little bit. Yesterday I laid it over more of a shimmery neutral taupey brown shade, and then today I'm layering it over this cranberry shade. And the look is totally different, but it works. Do you see that? That's so pretty. And there's like little to no fallout with this shade, which is interesting because it is so shimmery. Next, I'm gonna go back in and we're gonna take the shade right here, the Braided shade. This is a mid-tone kind of pinky brown neutral. And we're gonna build this into the crease a little bit. We've kind of lost that crease since we've started adding other shades. So I'm gonna go in and kind of just deepen it a bit. Ooh. So pretty. Okay, I also feel like I need to deepen that purple. So I'm gonna go back in with that same purple that we used on the outer corner, and we're gonna apply that again. Perfect. Okay, next I'm gonna go ahead and just apply a little brow highlight. I'm gonna use this Makeup Forever Bacon Blot Powder in Banana, and I'm just gonna, you know, use this to highlight the brow bone. These shades are so pretty together. I love this combination. Very warm and like sultry, but adding that on the lid, that color, oh, so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of a black liquid liner pen on my upper lashes and give myself a very subtle wing. You can really use any black liquid liner pen. So I've added black liquid liner on top, and on the bottom I've added a like bronze shimmery eye pencil, and I'm gonna use that as a base. One of my favorites from Target is the Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pencils, and I love the shade Bronze Beam. It really gives the same effect. So next I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna add kind of a pop of color on the lower lash line. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. It's called Pink Shift, and it looks very shimmery violet, but I'm gonna assume by the name that it's gonna give me a pink shift. So let's see. I'm using a flat definer brush like this one, and we're going to just kind of run this over the liner. Now the reason that I put a liner down first, like in a pencil form, is because it's waxy, so it's going to kind of grab that shadow. That's gonna do a few things for you. It's gonna keep that shadow from kind of falling down under your concealer and messing up your concealer and foundation, but it's also gonna intensify the color of it a bit. Think of it as like putting an eye primer down for your eyeshadow on your lid. A pencil is kind of the same thing. And because we used a brown, it's gonna kind of tone down the color of this a little bit. If I had used this on bare skin first, then you would see a lot more of this violet color, more vibrant, but we aren't seeing that. So it's a little more toned down. So it kind of depends on the look you're going for. You can layer it like I'm doing if you want to really get that violet to pop, which I do. So I'm gonna go and layer it a bit. Perfect. Next, I'm gonna go with mascara, and I'm using the e.l.f. Big Mood Mascara. I've totally been into trying new mascaras over the last year. This is described as giving mega volume. I used this yesterday, and that's the best way to describe it, is mega volume. You can see the wand is kind of your traditional kind of fat wand. It has a bit of a curve and an hourglass shape in the center of it, so that's really gonna help lift the lashes. Now, I am going to place it on the root of my lashes and wiggle up with my eyes closed. That's how I find I get the most volume from mascaras. And I was pretty surprised yesterday, even though this wand is larger, you have a lot of great control. I didn't make a mess of mascara on my lid yesterday. And I'm kind of notorious for making a mess on my eyelid with mascara, but that didn't happen. And I found this to be a really buildable mascara, meaning that I could layer and layer and layer, and I'd get more volume, but it wouldn't get clumpy. It still kept the lashes very separated. For me, this looked like I had applied a very natural, like false lash strip. You know, I got some length from it, but really this mascara is for you ladies that love volume on your lashes. And I just love how buildable it is. You can use the tip of the wand to get in the inner corner. So here is the finished look with mascara. I really like this mascara. It's a great volumizing mascara. You're gonna get some length, but it's not like a, I wouldn't say that this is your go-to if you like a lot of length. It's really gonna add volume, but it's gonna keep the lashes very separated. This is several coats of mascara on my eyes, and as you can see, it really didn't clump at all. They look still pretty feathery and separated. And even though the wand is large, because it has that hourglass, that curve to the center of it, it really does give you more control. And then you can use the tip like I did in the inner corner or the lower lash line, but I really, really like it. Okay, next I am gonna go in and highlight a little bit. I added a little bit of highlighter and I realized that my camera had shut off, but I went in and highlighted with the kind of warm champagne shade of the Face palette. And I basically concentrated that on my temples, and I just picked up a little bit of highlight and I like softly patted it on my temples and the high point of my cheekbone. I don't typically like a lot of shimmer on my cheeks because I have large pores. And this is definitely more of an intense highlighter, so be very light in your application if you aren't, if you don't like a lot of shimmer, you just want something really soft. It can definitely give you that, but it's all in the brush and the application technique that you use. Light, soft little presses. Do you see what that did? Do you see how that just made my nose beam? And it's just a little bit, and I'm gonna put a little bit on my Cupid's bow. You can also put it in the inner corner of your eyes if you want a little bit of a highlight there as well. It is described as a face palette, and I don't really see any mention of it being used for the eyes or tested for the eyes, but I don't have sensitive eyes in that respect, so I'm able to do it. But again, if you do have sensitive eyes, just maybe not. I don't have sensitive eyes in that respect, so it works for me. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with the lips, and I'm using one of my favorite lip pencils, period. Not just one of my favorite affordable lip pencils, but one of my favorite lip pencils. It's the Jason Wu lip pencil in the shade Adored. This formula is so nice, pigmented, and really creamy. I also love this shade in particular because it's like the perfect peachy pink. It's kind of like my ideal lip color. And I'm gonna kind of fill in the lips a little bit. I'm not using a lipstick, so I'm kind of using my lip pencil as my lipstick. This is such a creamy formula that's really easy to do that. It's almost like a lip crayon. Then last, I'm gonna top my lips with the Maybelline Lifter Gloss, and this is one of my favorite gloss formulas. It's lightweight, it smells delicious, it has really micro-fine shimmer to it, so whenever you find a gloss that has shimmer to it, but it's really, really refined, what that does is it just makes the lips look super glossy and wet. It doesn't look like shimmer on the lips, it just makes the gloss even more glossier. It's super lightweight too. I may have already said that, but you can top this over lipsticks or over lip liner or wear it by itself. This gloss really gives a full lip look. I think that this is a great dupe to the Buxom lip glosses. Also the Milani Keep It Full lip glosses are as well. They're my two favorite affordable lip gloss finds, and that's so pretty. And this is the finished look. I really like the way that it came out. It's definitely comfortable for you neutral loving ladies like myself, but it also incorporates some color and adds some fun and pops of color to the look. I really love it. I think it's perfect for a night out. Blue or green eyes, this is just gonna make your eyes pop. This palette is definitely one I would recommend. I like that it has a good range of formulas in here. You get some glittery shades, you also get some mattes, you also get some frosty shimmers as well. I think there's a good balance of neutral and color. Like I said before, you have enough shades in here for the neutral lovers like myself, but then you also have some really fun, like bold colors if you like to play with more color. And I think that finding a palette that incorporates both is really kind of the ideal palette, because when you have a palette full of bold colors but no neutral colors to pull them together, you're always gonna have to reach in other palettes. And if you have an all neutral palette, that's great if you wanna wear all neutrals, but if you wanna incorporate color, then of course you have to lean in another one. This one I think really gives you everything you need, minus a brow highlight. But really, really love this, and at the price point, I think it's a really great buy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to thank you guys for your time spent watching my videos. If you're not subscribed to my channel and you enjoy these videos, please hit that subscribe button and bell notification so you get notified when I upload new videos, which I do 2 to 3 times every single week. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.